although our prices are still very competitive, it's not just about price these days. It's about ensuring that you're actually getting something that's going to be productive for your business and actually beneficial.
This is Velocitize Talks, and I'm Eric Jones. I'm here with Matt Holme, the founder and managing director of MyWork. Matt, it's great to have you.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's an exciting opportunity.
We're going to dive right in. I was wondering if you could tell us a little bit about MyWork and what you see as your competitive differentiators in the marketplace.
Started MyWork back in 2010, and I think probably the compelling story that we tell is that our story hopefully aligns with our client stories. We're really focused on small businesses and helping them succeed online. I started this business with a lot of assistance, obviously, from my business partner, Dan, who's also my brother-in-law. Very much a micro business startup, from my home office. We've grown it into a small business, and I think now we're a bit more of a medium-sized business. And that's all happened over about a 10-year period. And I think a lot of the things we've learned, the things we've done well, the things we've not necessarily done all that well, our message and our story to our customers is that, you can learn from the way we've grown our business. You want to grow your business online as well. Look, this is what we've done over the last 10 years. Why don't we take you on a similar journey as well?
I'll come back to a question around that, growing online, but somewhat counterintuitively, you said you don't like to outsource any work. And, in this age of, agility and flexibility and things like that, why do you do that? How do you think it actually results in better work for your clients?
I think there's always that kind of cultural understanding of, obviously our target market is small businesses in Australia. And once again, back to the message that we ourselves in many respects are that type of business, and just literally being able to understand the pain points and what our customers are actually looking to resolve and what they're looking to achieve from their digital presence helps a lot. You do lose that communication breakdown, even though there could be some cost savings in outsourcing work. We've really put a big focus on best practice, and WP Engine comes into play there. Small businesses have sometimes come across the challenge of always wanting to just get the best price, and although our prices are still very competitive, it's not just about price these days. It's about ensuring that you're actually getting something that's going to be productive for your business and actually beneficial. And I don't think, and I think the perception of the market is just learning that if you outsource the work, I often say to clients, it's a bit of a flip of a coin. You may get what you've paid for, but then you do run a risk of ultimately not getting anything that you really wanted at the beginning of the day.
Do you think online businesses are more trusted or less trusted than bricks and mortar companies? Any thoughts about that you've gleaned over the 10 years?
No, it's evolving a lot, and obviously, yes, you can build trust very quickly online these days in comparison to where you used to have a history of offline excellence or offline customer service. You can very quickly now through things like instant chat, and that one of the things we tell our customers is that good old-fashioned customer service is not dead, and it's more important than ever. So it's about getting the balance between all these digital tools that exist to keep your business up and running and helping you market your business online. But at the end of the day, if you're showing your customers, and it's actually one of the things I really like about WP Engine and the live chat support, is that we've always dealt with so-called live chat support, and most of the time it's just a bot bringing up a bunch of answers to some frequently asked questions. Whereas with WP Engine, we ask a question, there's a real person there, a person who's actually working there in front of the platform who can solve your problem. And by doing little things like that, introducing that human touch, I think, you can build trust quicker these days when you start an online-only business.
How do you, as you're consulting for clients and things like that, how do you resist, the temptation of, in fact, just incorporating all these different technologies, and how do you ensure that they, maintain that all-important human face in their businesses when online?
Yeah, well, that's right. I mean, in many respects, like what we've said to our clients is that there's just so much noise going on in this industry. There's literally millions of solutions and plugins and apps that they, in theory, could have interacting with their business. And I think certainly for small businesses, it's about helping them kind of slow down, build that solid foundation, We often say there's kind of 5 things that may matter on the internet these days. It's kind of cloud-based hosting, good content management system like WordPress, advertising, Google, Facebook, social. Those type of things are the things that really matter, and just helping them kind of walk before they run. Making sure that they get that foundation right, get something solid that they can actually then build upon, I think is important. Yeah.
In fact, applying that idea of, setting a foundation and then building upon it, you're doing something similar with Bold platform, right? Where, you're providing this extra layer on top of any CMS that a company may already be using. Tell us how that's allowing companies to provide their own unique value add layer on top of Bold platform.
Yeah, I mean, it all, once again, we did actually rename it recently to make it, which Bold platform was a good name, but the name Bold in our space quickly became synonymous with a really successful Shopify app developer. Just happened to call themselves Bold as well. So we renamed the platform, but to answer your question, it's much, kind of comes back to our own storytelling of how we built an agency ourselves and the pain points that we had, kind of, learning how to deal with a large number of clients. We were very passionate about designing websites, but didn't necessarily have the infrastructure and the resources in-house to take care of everything from obviously managing a large number of websites, invoicing these clients, looking after everything that the customer kind of perceives that you will look after. So, the average consumer will turn to a web design agency and just think they're an expert in every field, whereas you might be a terrific freelance designer, but you may not necessarily have a background in hosting, or you may not necessarily understand how domains work. That's once again just kind of learning from what we've done over 10 years, turning that into a platform, and then opening up the doors to let other agencies use it, which has been interesting process to go through. But we've got a lot of agencies that use our platform now, so it has worked out quite well. Yeah.
When you're building digital experiences for a client, and you learn that their target market, let's say, is Gen Z, how are you sort of customizing or building different experiences for that target market versus millennials or Gen X or even baby boomers?
Yeah, for sure. It's all, once again, it's just helping our customers understand that there is still that old-fashioned customer service that has to come into play, and obviously just learning where your customers are hanging out and the appropriate way to market to those customers. Generation Z are going to be extremely skeptical of old-fashioned advertising techniques. They're being shouted at constantly, banner ads, etc. And they're just been from day one for that particular generation. They've been immune and probably had ad blocker installed on even their very first computer. So that's just not going to work. So it's all about just kind of understanding who they do listen to. If they're skeptical of your voice, ensure that you have a third-party voice. So, I'm promoting a product that's the comfiest couch in Australia. I tell them that's the comfiest couch in Australia. They're probably skeptical of me, but hey, there's 200 people on productreview.com who say that this is the comfiest couch in Australia. So just accepting that particular generation is naturally skeptical of the message coming out of your mouth, and just ensuring that you can utilize others to still ultimately convey the same message. Try this couch for 30 days, and if it's not the comfiest couch, return it for, no questions asked, refund. Alleviating risk, because, they perceive that there's a risk in trusting what it is you say. They're skeptical. So, look, if you don't believe me, try the couch, and if you don't agree with me, return it. And those type of techniques, I think, are the kind of way to get through to that type of generation, yeah.
One of the other, things that I think has evolved over the last couple of years is, the rise of branded content. And there was a period of time when it was a little bit of a bad word, right? It was obvious that the company wanted to sell something. But we've seen quite an evolution over the last couple of years, where a lot of branded content is actually pretty useful and pretty much valued by customers. How do you consult for clients and sort of advise them on how to approach those things?
Yeah, I think as long as you understand that the market, they know it's branded content, so don't try to pull the wool over their eyes and pretend that this isn't actually a promotion. And I think just being, once again, just old-fashioned honesty that, hey, this is effectively a promotion, but this is a promotion that we think you will genuinely be interested in. So kind of that initial subtext that we respect that you understand. We're not going to insult you here by trying to think that you think that this is not actually a marketing ploy, but it's a marketing message that we actually think you would be genuinely interested in, and here's why. I think just kind of respecting the market from the get-go. They understand that this is branded content, and going about it in that direction.
What do you think is going to be one of the biggest changes that we see in digital experiences over the next 3 to 5 years?
Voice is obviously already playing a big part, and it's going to become more and more, and that then kind of directly relates into AI. Went to Google, did some training at their Sydney headquarters, which was a terrific experience to listen to everything Google had to say, and they told us that obviously we all know that originally they were a search company, and they molded themselves into a mobile company, and now over the last 12 months they've become an AI company. And I think that'll be obviously a big disruptor, but our message once again to our clients is, utilize those tools. They're terrific tools to help you build an audience, understand your audience, and effectively get more eyeballs on your content or your service or your product. But at the end of the day, once again, that human touch. So you're getting a balance between the two. Get more people to your website by utilizing the AI, market to those people utilizing the AI, but at the end of the day, help them respect the fact they're probably understood that they were marketed to by a robot, and come in as a human and close the deal that way. So just getting a balance between the two, I think, is an important message that we try to convey to our clients.
As clients think about engaging in an agency, what's one thing you wish they all understood?
I think, back to my earlier comment on just the importance of a solid foundation and not necessarily just shopping around for the best price. I think that little bit of educating, I often find that the small businesses that are able to succeed are the lucky ones who, and many businesses have this now, they have the technical person in-house. The person who's not necessarily a web designer, they're not necessarily a web developer, but they're someone who generally just understands the importance of a well set up digital presence. And that's the one message that I think is probably the biggest challenge to get through, and kind of just got to keep kind of harping on to the fact that we need to get that foundation right. If we get that foundation right, the sky's the limit. There's so many things we can do with your business. There's so many things we can do with your website. It doesn't matter whether you get 100 people to your website one day and then 10,000 people to your website the next day. You've got that foundation ready for that. I think that's probably the biggest message we're trying to convey.
Matt, thanks so much for being here.
Absolutely.
Really appreciate it.
It's been great to be here, Eric. Thank you.